And okay. Just warming up. Yeah, the song I'm going to do is a short little ditty that one of my favorite humans is Wendy Cause.
Aww. Oh. Aww.
And I sang it for her when she was speaking on the Camino. So I resurrected it. I've never done it since. And so it's time. It's a little rewrite of a song that a lot of people already know. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. I remember the walk, I remember the way. I'd be safe and sound if I stayed in the USA. But I'm Camino dreaming on a winter's day. I stopped into a church I found along the way. I got down on my knees and I began to pray. The preacher says I'm strong, stronger than I know. I'm Camino dreaming on this winter's day. Santiago, mi corazón, te quiero, que la vaya bien, may it go well with you. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. I've been for a walk and I know the way. If I didn't have to tell anyone, I'd leave today. 'Cause I'm Camino dreaming, I'm Camino dreaming, and I know the way. I know the way. It's within. And with that, our speaker today is going to speak. Oh, wait a minute.
This song,
Stanley Davis Jr.
I cannot do a show without including this song.
Oh, yeah. I knew a man, Bojangles, and... Anyway. I don't know your last name.
Reta.
Cathay Reta is going to be our speaker today. Let's welcome her.
Yeah, I'll get this over here. I've already teared up 3 times. And gosh, I mean, this is just, it's a wonderful full service already without me saying a thing. But I'm happy to be here. And for any who don't know, the Camino de Santiago translates as the Way of St. James. It's an old pilgrimage trail which goes across Spain. Actually, there's several different routes and ways you can go, but the one most often walked is the French way, the Camino Frances. It's 483 miles across northern Spain, ending in Santiago. And it's been walked for over 1,000 years. And for a long time, it's kind of out of fashion. Then it became popular again. And the year I went, in 2019, which I know Wendy also went, 2019, and Stephanie, The Pilgrim's Office reported about 350,000 people from around the world were on the Camino at some point, at some portion. I understand now it's grown to about 500,000. So I heard about it at a time when my husband died. I've been married for 33 years, and some friends were going over to walk the Camino, and it kind of got my attention. That sounds interesting. I wish I could go. I can't do that. But then 3 years after my husband passed away, I was wondering, what am I going to do with my next 30 years? I've been single about 30 years, married 33 years, and I've got to plan out what to do now. And so it came to me, the Camino. It wouldn't leave my mind. It was really calling to me, and I didn't know why. And then I realized, oh, of course, there is some free time without distractions. I can think and plan my next 30 years. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. Yeah, Wendy knows. That was my intent. So I didn't plan to walk a pilgrimage. I'm just taking a long walk for a good mental activity. That's not what I found. So picture the first night, I'm sitting in a 13th century Gothic church in the Pyrenees. The lights are dim, there's soft choral music playing. I'm sitting on a wooden bench, and I tear up. And then I hear the word absolution. I thought, I'm not here for absolution. I don't need that. God and I are good. That's not my purpose. And I heard that voice come back inside. Yes, you do. You need absolution. You need forgiveness from yourself. So that set the stage for the next 37 days. The next day I'm checking into a hostel. So this Camino, it's very well structured, infrastructure. There's places to stay all along the way. And so I'm checking in my first day, and I start bawling. I'm just crying. When I always said to the host, I was going to say my husband died. That's why I'm walking to Santiago. I got as far as mi marido, my husband, and just broke into tears. So I thought, I thought I was past grief. It had been 3 years. I was good. I was feeling good. I was doing well. But that's when I began to realize, evidently not. And so the next few days, I'm walking every day, up and down and up and down, a lot of uphill. When I had gone, I had Achilles tendonitis in my heels. I had hurt them when I was practicing for the Camino. I thought I got to get my body used to it, but I damaged it, so they hurt a lot. And because of that, I decided I won't walk as much as people normally do, 12 to 16 miles a day. So I stayed pretty much within 6 miles to 10 miles, a few 13-mile days, but I was afraid of injuring my heels too much more. But you know what? My thighs, my knees, my back, all of my body gave my heels competition. It was painful. And so I keep walking, and I thought, okay, and I guess they say it'll get better, you just keep going. So I thought I would try that. You're walking over all sorts of different surfaces, some wonderful, nice dirt trails. There were some really rocky ones, some with moving stones that you're afraid you're going to fall, and a lot of people do fall. Sometimes along the asphalt, alongside a highway, it's just a lot of varieties, so you kind of get a little bit of everything. And so I keep walking and walking, and a couple weeks into it, I realized this just really isn't what I expected. What am I doing this for? Why torture myself? Listen, I want to plan out my next 30 years. Maybe I'll go to a luxury hotel, put my feet in the pool, I can drink sangrias, and I can work it out from there. Why do I do this to myself? It was very tempting, but then I knew, I don't know, I have to keep going. And I thought, I thought I was going to be walking with joy and peace, but my companions were sorrow and suffering, because I walked a lot, I cried a lot, I complained a lot. Sure, that doesn't sound like the Camino you expect or you hear about people coming back, but that was where I was. That's what was happening. And then I was, crying out to, what is this about? And I did a journal along the way, and I'd like to read from part of it is as I was starting to work out what is this that's going on. I wrote, well, this is part of what I wrote. As I sit at the shaded table, I'm soothed by the morning calm, and the word penance comes to mind. In fact, it's crossed my mind a few times. Certainly no one would do this walk except as penance, as a type of punishment. I search an online dictionary for its definition. It's the voluntary self-punishment inflicted as an outward expression of repentance. Well, putting that together with my insights about absolution on my first day back in Roncesvalles, I start to gain some clarity. This Camino brings forth a physical struggle to match the inner breaking of the heart and of the soul. I think it gives depth and tangibility to what's felt inside. The physical challenge is drawing emotional pain to my conscious mind, so I may become aware of it, see it, and name it, and absolve it. And there it is, absolution. Too often we try to just handle everything in the mind, detached, untouched, uninvolved. But the power of transformation comes when the flow of life and pain seep through the cracks, when the physical touches the soul. Those emotions express in the physical and present themselves to the mind. The mind is the observer, taking it all in, and we begin to understand. I think, that's the Camino. It's the beginning of understanding. It's letting go and accepting. It's an unfolding of healing, of truth, of community. And so I let that sink in, and that was kind of on my mind, and I calmed a little bit and kept walking. And then it got worse. And then I'm walking along, and my back itches. And I'm scratching and scratching. And I get to the next hostel. I go in and shower, and I look in the mirror, and it's true, I have bed bugs. 3 little red bites lined up in a row. It's bed bugs. That's what I was most afraid of. When I was preparing for the Camino, I was reading and following forums and groups and about how not to get bed bugs and what to do if you get them, and I was terrified. No bed bugs. That was my plea. And here it was. And so I took my backpack and everything. I went to a laundromat. I stopped at a pharmacy to get some stuff I should spray on it to kill the little boogers. And they were out of it, but they gave me something else, hoping it would help. And I washed everything, and I went back to my room, and I laid down on the bed. And the physical pain I've been going through was enough, but this emotional was the final straw. I had had it. So I'm laying there, and then comes Patrick, a pilgrim from the UK. And in his bright, cheery British accent, he asked me how my day's going. I said, not good. I began bawling again. No, I have bed bugs, and I want to go home. And so he reached his hand out to me and said, may I hold your hand? Mm-hmm. And then he sat down on the floor next to my bed, cross-legged. And he said, bed bugs, that's part of life with all of its ups and downs. And he went on and he consoled me, and I don't know what he said, but evidently I felt better, and I got up and we took a walk around town. And he was pointing out some of the beautiful sights to me. There was a 16th century bridge over that would be crossing the next day, and he's telling me about the construction of it. That's when I learned he was an engineer. Just surprised me because I would have taken him for a therapist or for a counselor. He was just so calming. And at one point in that walk, he turned to me and he said, you're on the Camino to learn to fall in love with yourself again. I knew that was true. The words hit me right in the heart, and I knew that was it. Okay, let's get to know me again. And so it got better. The next day I took off walking, and I was feeling better, even though 2 days later I found out I still had bed bugs. So this time I got to the hostel, and I told the host about it, and he went right to work to help me out. So he found something I could wear. You know, in the hostels along the way, pilgrims are always looking for ways to lighten their load. Anything you can get out of your backpack, something maybe seemed to be insignificant to you, but that's weight you don't want to carry. And so he went to his donation box, and he came out with a white shirt, which fit me. It's okay, I could wear that. But for the bottom, all he could find was a big red quick-dry towel. So, as embarrassed as I was, I took the towel, I cinched it at my waist. It left my whole leg exposed, the side, but that's it, because I needed to get all of my clothes off me and into the treatment. So he laid out my clothes on this rock wall there in front of his offices, sprayed them with permethrin, sprayed my backpack, put it in a black garbage sack, and set it out in the sun. And those clothes sat there all afternoon in the sun, baking. Meanwhile, he took really good care of me. He was so kind, so helpful, muy guapo, so handsome. And I just began to have a peace. And I was so relaxed there. I stayed 3 days at this albergue at El Paso. And in that time, I was cooked for and made to feel comfortable. I played with a neighborhood collie who came and played fetch. I laid on the grass by the river and just relaxed and just let all the troubles, all the problems go away, melt away. And I even thought, maybe I'll stay here until it's time to get to Santiago and fly home. It would have been nice. But somehow I'm not done. Or rather, the Camino's not done with me. I have to keep going. So that was my oasis. And I figured, at that point, I had walked 150 miles. But I know, okay, I have to keep going. So the next day from that area, from Vega de Valcarce, the next stop is up a 2,600-foot incline up this lush, green, humid mountain. I'm there in summer. And so off I went, got my backpack, said my goodbyes, and took off up that mountain. And I sweat like I never have in all my life. And I felt the pain. My thighs could feel every inch up that we're going. But at one point then I noticed I'm not complaining. Look at me, I'm not crying and I'm not complaining. So I thought, okay, it's going to be all right. And so I kept going. A couple days later, it was the day before my 65th birthday, and I got a text from my friend Kathleen. Now, I had agreed with her to text back and forth so that someone in the world would know where I am, because she and other friends were so afraid that I was setting out by myself in this strange country, and if something happened to me, no one would ever know. So we did regular texting. So she told me she was having lunch with a group of women the day before, and they said, they were talking about me, and they said, she's so amazing. I read that and I thought, no, I'm not. That voice inside says, yes, you are. Own it. So I kind of whispered, okay, I'm an amazing woman. But it had no substance because it was covered over by, I knew what I had done with my life. And that's I had stopped doing what I felt I should do and do what other people said I should do. I had begun nodding in agreement with things and doctrines and beliefs I didn't really agree with, but just to go along with the crowd and be a part of it. So in short, I gave up my voice. And I stopped wanting because I found it was easier to not want than to not get. And so I thought, that doesn't sound very amazing. But the voice said again, you are amazing, own it. So I looked around, I'm at a part of the trail, there's no one around, I'm by myself, and so I say it out loud, I'm an amazing woman. And I kind of start to believe it a little bit. Just something just caught hold there. And just things got, the rest of the trail, it got easier. It got better. Mile after mile, I kept walking. Finally, 10 days later, I'm in the final stretch going into Santiago. By this time, I was so tired. My legs hurt, my heels were still in a lot of pain, and I was just feeling numb. And I just wanted to get it over with. I wanted to just get there. And then this peppy man comes walking by me and he says, hey, step it up there. At this rate, it'll take you 2 weeks to get to Santiago. What? You don't know me. You don't know my Camino. You don't know how my body feels, what pain I'm in, what anguish I've been through. You don't know what it's taken to get me, or where I started from, or what's going on in my life. You have no right. This is my Camino, not yours. That's what I wish I would have said. But I only just gave him a dirty look, because those words I couldn't get formed together till after he was on his way down the road. But it really got me. And then it got me to thinking, who does know someone else's Camino? Who does know what's going on in another person? We don't see in there. We don't know what they've come through, what they're going to. And it made me want to be more reflective and more caring and giving to other people. Because things aren't always as they look. So, and I thought about my own Camino, that it had shaken me pretty fiercely, beaten me to tears, and it had forced me to look at dreams and hopes that I had buried a long time ago and just given up on, that they wouldn't be my life. So I get on into Santiago, to the cathedral. It's mid-afternoon and the hot sun is bearing down on the plaza in front of the cathedral. And there's pilgrims laying flat out on the ground. You can appreciate that. Others are leaning against their backpacks. There's groups hugging and laughing and talking. There's a lot going on. And so I sit there among them. And I realize, you know what, I'm proud of myself. By that point, I'd walked 251 miles. And this was coming from a sedentary life where I hadn't been doing anything like that. And actually people thought it was crazy when I said I wanted to go. Well, and it was, but I knew I had to. And so I sit there thinking, what an accomplishment. I feel good about it. But I also realized the greater accomplishment was what happened inside me. Something changed, something broke loose. And I knew that was the purpose. And my other question about what to do with my life, I realized I already knew. I've known for years and years, I've wanted to be a writer and a speaker. And that was been in my heart, but I didn't pursue it. But then I got the courage. And so when I got back home, I wrote the Camino. I wrote my book, the first one. I have about 4 of them now. And it was the first, and I wrote it because, one, it was kind of like the Camino called me. Well, this book was calling, you have to write this. And in part because I know every tear I shed, every step I took, I'm not alone. It's a universal story. It's a universal need within all of us. And there are so many others that are in that situation. And if something I write in my book can unlock a little latch or cause someone to take one step toward their dream, then I'm down for it. That's what I want to do. I want to encourage others. And so I found, okay, so I did find what to do with the rest of my life. The other thing I found was, it doesn't matter that I know. You know, what's going to happen is going to happen. I don't have the control over it, and to be comfortable with that. That's a Camino lesson. You think you have all this control and you find out you don't. So, and with that, so I'd like to share 3 things I encourage you to take from this. You know, and one, if you have a draw to go walk the Camino, go. By all means, you should do that. There's a reason for it, and I can't even pretend to know what it is. But you don't have to walk the Camino to get those breakthroughs. You can do it from right where you are. So I give you 3 suggestions. One is listen. Learn to listen to that voice in you. We all have that voice, that intuition, God, however you name it, it's in us. And it's speaking and whispering to us all the time, trying to bring us to our purpose and to our fulfillment. But we've become pretty expert at pushing it aside, ignoring it, running from it, hiding and thinking, oh, no, I can't do that. But you won't be satisfied and you won't be fulfilled until you can listen. So listen to it. Listen to its whispers. The second thing I would say is be mindful. Notice what's in your heart. Notice your feelings, your thoughts, the things you're saying or thinking. Watch them. The readings from earlier, that's so perfect. Watch what you're saying. Speak of prosperity and success, not bed bugs. I look back and I realize I own it. I was a beacon for bed bugs. I was calling them to me. I was saying, no bed bugs, no bed bugs. Well, you know what? The universe hears bed bugs. It doesn't hear that no part. So the universe is saying she wants bed bugs. Send her the bed bugs. So, okay, it was painful. It was probably the worst part of the trip, but it had purpose, and I understand. So it's a very good lesson for me. The third thing is encourage you to act quickly. So you're listening to yourself, you're becoming mindful of what's going on in your mind and your thought life, because that's what's bringing your circumstances to you. And then you act quickly. If you have a thought to do something, if you have a nudge to do something, do it. Don't wait. Don't put it off for another year. Hey, someday or down the line or when this happens. You know what? I went to the Camino in 2019. It would have made all the sense in the world to wait for a year to let my heels heal, and I could have made the trip better. But as you know, 2020, I would have never made the trip. It wouldn't have happened. So when you have some nudge, when you know there's something to do, just jump in and do it. I think about it's a real blessing to me that I can look back and I know what I would have paid had I not gone when I was urged to go in 2019, because I know the history. 2020 it closed, no one went. But I think of how many times do we have that voice telling us to do something and we don't act on it. And I think the sad thing is we most often never get to see what it is we missed out on. We don't know what passed us by because we were going to wait for a year or just feeling inadequate. So listen, be mindful, and take action. And I'd like to finish with reading from the end of this book. Absolution. I was surprised to hear the word absolution when I sat in the old church on my first night in Roncesvalles. I thought it wasn't relevant for me. Yet I did find absolution along the way. I came to forgive myself for not being true to who I am, and I learned to release myself from guilt. I rediscovered and fell in love again with that adventurous, hopeful woman I had slowly dismantled and buried over the past decades. I'm back. I'm coming out from hiding. I am vulnerable, and that's okay. It is good. I can say that through struggles and pain, I kept walking, and my heart did catch up. I know more about me now than I did a year ago. I know that I can do anything. I am unstoppable. I am an amazing woman. And what I also know that you are amazing. Each one of you, in the wholeness of who you are, in your essence, you're amazing. There's no other word for it. And so I just encourage you to step into it. So thank you.
Cathay, please tell us about your workshop.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's the workshop at one today. That's part of the stepping into who I am. So, I wrote the books. I have a few books, and I thought, it's fine and good for me to tell you to, step into who you are and be true to yourself. But what I found is the workshop I'm doing today and one later, this one's called a Power Word Workshop. It'll help you take a little step or two towards that, some tangible physical thing. And so it's a Power Word Workshop, be an hour, hour and a half. Just do some activities to help you look inward and find who you are and come up with one word that describes you, that you can hold on to. This is me right now, maybe me for this year. This is my power work. And so that's a little piece. The other thing I stepped into doing is vision board workshops. And that's a whole 4-hour session. I'll be doing one here at the end of the month. And there is there's a fee for that. But that one really goes in deeper for you to take some time to get in touch with yourself and find what are your true goals. What do you want out of life? What do you want to feel like? It's more around the feeling and the vibration that you carry. So that's where the Camino has brought me to all this. So thanks for letting me share that. And I do have copies of my book and a few others I've written in the back, and they're available for $12 each or 2 for $20. I encourage you to, take a look at them. And I have a sign-up list there. I have a website, and I do a weekly blog, which I didn't do this week, but usually Sunday mornings there comes out a message, something I feel led to share with people. And so that's, no cost, but if you'd like to follow on that, you can just sign in with your email. So I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.